Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I have another video in my quickfire Q&A series on what to do with your AMC squeeze money after the mother of all short squeezes, in terms of maximising the money that you receive, in terms of preserving it, and in terms of enjoying it. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, I want to start by talking about how what you might do with your AMC squeeze money might vary depending on when AMC squeezes. Right now, the US, the UK, and potentially the entire world is edging into a recession. Over the last few months, the S&P 500 has been falling and is so far down around 20%, although it did experience a small pullback last week. Obviously, over the next few weeks and the next few months, this market crash and recession is likely to continue. Previous market crashes on average last between 6 to 9 months, and therefore it's very possible that we still have an additional 3 to 6 months left of the wider market crash. The S&P 500 could definitely still fall another 20%, 40%, or even 60% from its current levels. And therefore what you could do or what you should do with your money may depend if AMC squeezes next week or if AMC squeezes next year after the recession, for example. So I want to split this video into 3 main chunks, which is obviously the maximization of your AMC squeeze money, the preservation of that money, and obviously the enjoyment of that money. Now, in terms of a selling plan to maximize the cash that you receive from the AMC squeeze, I do want to leave this for a separate video and cover exactly how to sell your shares, whether you should sell them using a limit order or a market order, and when exactly to place those orders. But in this video, I basically wanted to cover how you can maximize the money that you withdraw from your brokerage, aka paying less tax and organizing your money better. So I think the first thing you should do after the AMC squeeze is hire on retainer a reputable accountant, a will writer, a financial advisor, and maybe even a lawyer. A reputable accountant and financial advisor will help reduce your tax bill on the squeeze proceeds and also help organise your money in the best way, whether you should contribute additional cash to your 401k or put money into an IRA account to reduce future tax bills. And again, a will writer and a lawyer is going to help you give money in an advantageous way to friends and family, to charity, and to leave money behind when you pass away. I think this is a really important thing to think about when AMC squeezes. For example, if you're in the US, in California, and you already have a high income, when AMC squeezes, the last thing you want to do is lose 50, 60, or even 70% of that squeeze money directly to tax. And therefore, making sure you have a good accountant and a good financial advisor is going to help you reduce that tax bill and maximize the squeeze money that you actually receive. Now, in terms of preserving your money, the first option you have is keeping all of that AMC squeeze money in various bank accounts in its purest form, which is cash. Now, the reason why I suggest multiple bank accounts is because obviously FDIC insurance only covers up to $250,000 per bank account. In the UK, the FSFC insurance is only up to £85,000, so even lower. Considering that right now the economy is heading into a recession and even Kevin O'Leary expects some of the financial giants to go under, it'd be foolish to keep all of your AMC squeeze money in one financial institution that could go bankrupt just like Lehman Brothers. Now, obviously, the main downside to leaving your AMC squeeze money in pure cash is inflation. Right now, inflation is between 8 and 8.5%, and therefore your money becomes 8% more worthless each year. By that, I mean the costs of everything around you are increasing by 8 to 8.5% per year, but the money in your bank account isn't increasing. So therefore, it is effectively decreasing by 8% per year. But this is why I think it depends on exactly when AMC squeezes. Obviously, losing 8.3% per year isn't very good, but if AMC squeezed at the end of December and you invested your money into the S&P 500, you'd currently be down around 20%, which is worse than being down 8%. Leaving your AMC squeeze money in cash is a good idea because it makes that cash easily accessible for when you have emergencies. But again, leaving that AMC squeeze money in cash is a bad idea because it means it's easily accessible and you could end up wasting all of that money. It could be a very good idea to invest a large chunk of your AMC squeeze money in high interest saving accounts at your local bank with locked withdrawal periods. Some banks will pay you a higher interest rate if they restrict access to your cash for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. That way you're still going to be earning interest on your AMC Squeeze money, but you're not going to be tempted to try and access that money and waste it. I think that could be a very, very good way to ensure that your AMC Squeeze money lasts you for the long term and isn't all gone after a month or two. Now, I think the second option after the AMC Squeeze, instead of leaving your money as cash, is to reinvest it back into the stock market. But I think there's a lot of problems with that. The first problem is obviously picking the right stocks. We know the US stock market is very heavily manipulated, and there's some major players that are committing illegal crimes consistently every single day. Therefore, the market is clearly rigged against us, so why should we put money back into a rigged game? Again, I think it also very much depends when AMC squeezes. If AMC squeezes in the next week or two, we're likely to see a recession for the next 3 to 6, maybe even 9 months, and therefore the market is likely to decline even further. And therefore investing that AMC squeeze money back into stocks right now might not be the best idea. Although saying that, in the longer term of 1 year, 5 years, 10 years or 15 years, the wider market is likely to continue increasing further and further. But again, I think the next tricky part is trying to pick what stocks. Do you pick small stocks that might be heavily manipulated by large funds like Citadel, or do you try and pick the big stocks and almost side with these hedge funds? It may be better to pick the stocks these hedge funds actually invest in, like Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and many others. At least that way you know you're going to be somewhat free from manipulation, but at the same time they don't experience rapid growth, and again you're siding with the hedge funds. However, investing in stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Amazon, and many others is likely to generate you a larger return than investing solely in high interest saving accounts or just leaving your money as cash. And therefore, even though it involves siding with the hedge funds, it may be a better idea to invest in these larger stocks to preserve your AMC squeeze money and help it grow. After the squeeze, I'm personally going to avoid investing in small startup growth stocks just because of the sheer amount of manipulation in the market and the fact that we're basically trying to play a rigged game. I will use small amounts of money to speculate in these smaller startup growth stocks and to help them grow, but I definitely won't be putting my entire net worth into one singular growth stock, for example. I think at the end of the day, the risk is just too high because one of these hedge funds or market makers could just turn around, synthetically short one of these smaller growth stock companies and bankrupt the company. Now, another option we have again is investing in ETFs or trackers like the S&P 500. Again, I do think this is a good option as it's going to be fairly free from manipulation, but again, it's important to think about when AMC actually squeezes. Investing in the S&P 500 right now for the next 3 to 9 months is probably not a great idea as the US is just about to enter a recession. But as I said earlier, in the long term, over the next 1 to 10 to 15 years, the market is likely to improve and the S&P 500 is likely to set new all-time highs. But on the flip side, if you do want to invest in the S&P 500, you likely have to invest through a fund like Vanguard and BlackRock, who have not been supporting the AMC squeeze. So again, to invest in the S&P 500, you effectively have to support these hedge funds and let them continue their manipulation. The next option is one of my personal favourites, which is investing in property. Property is obviously something physical that can't easily be taken away from you and can't easily be manipulated. With property, you can also use leverage your money by borrowing money from other banks to buy larger properties or to buy more properties. Property is also good because if you buy multiple properties, you can rent them out not only to friends and family, but also local people to generate additional income. You can help provide a genuine service to the community and help give back to the community by offering living accommodation while generating income. Hedge funds also can't create synthetic properties to devalue the value of your property, but again, it does depend on when AMC squeezes. Considering the US, the UK and the wider world is just about to enter a recession, it could very potentially be followed by a property market crash. Looking at the ratio of house prices to household income in the US, we can see that over the last few years, property prices have absolutely rocketed. Obviously, housing prices reached their previous peak back in 2006-2007, but then obviously fell quite significantly during the recession. Over the last 10 years, property prices had been increasing steadily, but over the last 2 years, property prices have rocketed to ridiculous new highs. Considering these prices are so overvalued as a result of inflation, and considering the US is entering a recession, it's likely housing prices could also crash at the same time, if not a few months delayed. However, after the housing market crashes, it would be a brilliant time to purchase additional property to benefit from future capital appreciation. And again, over the long term, if you buy multiple houses to hold for the next 5, 10, 20 or 30 years, it's likely that house prices will increase and you will benefit from capital appreciation. Whether this capital appreciation in the property market will exceed the capital growth in the S&P 500 or the large tech stock market, I can't say, and I don't think anyone can really say for certain. But what property is a tangible investment that you can help use to give back to your community, not just invest in intangible stocks. Again, property is also something tangible that you can pass down to future generations in your family and help to give them a head start. And the final option is to invest in crypto. But again, I think it depends when AMC squeezes and what your investment time outlook or time horizon is. Considering the world is about to enter a recession, and considering the previous blow-ups in crypto over the last month or two, looking specifically at UST and Luna, we could very potentially have reached the end of the current bull cycle. This means crypto could basically stagnate at its current position for the next 2 to 3 years before running up again in the future. Looking at the time period between November 2017 and around May 2018, and then comparing that to what we've seen over the last year or two, it looks fairly similar. In late 2017, early 2018, we saw the crypto market peak and then trail off with some smaller bumps. That again is obviously what we've seen over the last year or two, and therefore crypto may stagnate at its current position for the next few years. However, over the next 5, 10 to 15 years, as technology continues increasing and as the world goes more towards digital currency, we could see crypto again increase past those previous highs. I don't think $100,000 per Bitcoin or even $500,000 per Bitcoin is unrealistic over the next 5 to 10 years. I think as more people learn about crypto and more institutions begin investing in crypto, especially during the next bull cycle, I think it's very, very possible. But I do think for the moment, due to the recent blow-ups and the incoming regulation, I do think the current bull cycle has ended and we're likely to see some stagnation for a few years. Now, I also wanted to talk about enjoying your money and having fun and the ways that you can best have fun and enjoy your AMC Squeeze money. Now, obviously, I'm sure you've all got plans to buy your dream home or buy your dream car or cars or whatever it may be. Maybe it's a yacht, maybe it's even a small helicopter. But there's also a lot more things that you can do with your money to enjoy it and have fun. The first thing you can do is give back to your local community and donate some money to charity. That'll help you feel better and also help many people around you, not just helping yourself. Now again, you could also give money to friends and family, especially family that is very close to you that may be struggling. Even small amounts of money can really change somebody's life, so it definitely shouldn't be overlooked. Now, I'm also a big advocate that money should be used to make memories. Go on holiday with said friends and family, or take them out to dinner, or take them on days out. Holidays are something you can do with friends and family, and it'll build memories that last a lifetime. Far better than buying a small car that may only last for a few years. Again, holidays, meals out or days out can also help you bond and get even closer with your current family than you already were. I think it's important to remember that money doesn't necessarily bring happiness and money doesn't even buy happiness. What money can be used to do is remove problems. Many people out there do have problems that are caused by money, and money definitely helps to fix those problems. With more money, you'll have the time to do things that are important to you, like spending time with friends and family and building relationships and building memories. Many people work 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week or even more just to earn enough money, and then they don't have enough time left in the week to actually enjoy or do the things that they actually enjoy. With more money, you can spend more time doing hobbies, you can spend more time on holiday, you can spend more time making memories with loved ones, and you don't have to focus so hard on working all the time. Obviously, what money doesn't do is bring you instant happiness, bring back family when they're gone, or bring back friends when they're gone either. And therefore, it's really important to make the most of the family that you do have left and continue making memories while you still can. Guys, be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you plan on using your AMC Squeeze money for. Also, be sure to ding that notification bell because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.